Yeah, it's like a side thing they do in Brave New World, where Ross is like, "Hey, I want you to rebuild the Avengers with you." Actually, I don't want to anymore, and then that's dropped forever again, right? Like it's not mentioned again unless I
No,
forgot.
and that's not going to pop up in Thunderbolts, presumably. I mean, maybe post-credit scene, but
because they can shoot that a week before the movie comes out.
Yeah. I mean, how many? Like realistically, how many movies do we have before that next Avengers movie actually comes out? Like
I've got the list here. So you got Brave New World, then you got Thunderbolts, then you've got Fantastic Four, and then you've got Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, there is nothing.
Oh, so it's none.
No way.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else apparently that's coming out in the next.
Fantastic Four is gonna be a different universe. Yeah. So that's not gonna do anything with these Avengers.
Well, they have to be massively relevant in that movie. You know.
Yeah, my guess is that Fantastic Four is going to set up the Avengers, the antagonist of Avengers Doomsday, because
so that the antagonist can fight against people.
Some Avengers. That
let's put it this way: if this movie. Let's say this movie was not only really well executed and was legitimately really good, but it made a lot of money. They are still in trouble for an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, who else have they got left? I mean,
because it's like, okay, we can safely say that at least Sam Wilson's good as a character in this hypothetical different universe. He's cool. He's neat. He's the leader. All right, we've got one Avenger. Oh shit! It's like 2 movies until the next Avengers movie. And no one knows who these people are.
Well, yeah, one of them is almost guaranteed to give us nothing in terms of information on this world, and the other is very unlikely to give us anything.
Oh, but awkward, isn't it?
And then there's nothing, because there's nothing else, right? Because there's Daredevil, there's Ironheart, and then that's it, right?
Which means they have to establish the current Avengers in that Avengers movie that's coming out. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that might be what they tried to do. Yeah,
the Suicide
like a
Squad
soft reset movie. That would be probably if they've basically written off the remainder of Phase 5 as being just not a good job, and they're now starting up with isn't Fantastic Four the beginning of Phase 6?
Yes.
I want to say
yes.
If they're starting that off as Phase 6, using an Avengers movie to basically reintroduce the Avengers as though saying to the audience, "This is the time you can start paying attention again. You don't really have to pay attention to anything we've just done." Might be what they go for, but it's going to be very hard to pull off unless you're going to start pulling people like Thor back from the other side of the galaxy for some reason.
Well, Doctor Strange is also around somewhere, I guess.
Exactly.
He's dealing with incursions that allegedly
show up.
exist.
Surely,
Haven't we got confirmed that Benedict Cumberbatch is not going to be in the first Avengers, and we got nothing on Chris Hemsworth yet, right?
I think you walked that one back. That one back. That he is meant to be in both of them.
In any case, that is a correct observation that they not only need to build up, because Robert Downey Jr. he's only set to have the post-credit scene for Fantastic Four. At least that's what I've come to understand. He's not going to be like saying he's set up. It's like we got John Malkovich and Galactus, so that's the bad guys. For
you probably don't have the time to be doing anything.
No, and it'll be a thing of he's fucking in a building and walks somewhere and then says it is time. Like, okay.
I know. It's
Assemble the power cubes.
It feels like this is the time to sort of, if you run through like all of the new characters who've been introduced. So it's like, okay, Black Widow, you got Yelena and David Harbour, and then Shang-Chi, and then the Eternals. Who knows if they'll ever show up again? No. I guess you got America Chavez. You got Thor, I guess, is around.
People don't like America Chavez.
He's around, and then I guess Valkyrie as well. You got Shuri, who is the new Black Panther.
What about Iron?
We talk about Shuri.
They're changing that, aren't they?
Is that a thing?
I don't know. But I'm just reading in the order of the film.
Asking that question is kind of its
I guess you got Ant-Man and Wasp, and you got the new Ant-Man. What's her name?
Ant-Girl.
Then you got Guardians will never show up again. You got you got Captain Marvel and you got Miss Marvel. Then you got Deadpool, but Deadpool and Wolverine are in their own world. They're not in the main MCU world. They
presumably they will show up, right? They're not.
I wonder. Maybe.
There's so many choices. I stand corrected.
You got Kate Bishop. Remember, you got Moon Knight wherever he's at. He's out there in the world somewhere
doing his best.
You got who else do you have? Do you have Agatha and what's his name?
Not Agatha. She couldn't be.
Agatha's fucking ghost turns up.
Agatha's ghost is evil.
I am here.
Maybe wasn't
What
that
about
a thing in
Hawkeye?
What If? Wasn't it in What? I think he's retired again.
Oh,
I think he's retired. I think he
I
did.
think he
mostly
retires at the end
recovered,
of
but
at the end of Hawkeye.
Oh, he means in
as I
universe
understand it.
retired, I'm guessing.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'd like to see.
Well, I
more
think
of it.
Jeremy Renner's actually made like a pretty miraculous
Yeah,
recovery,
it's
so he
been-
might actually be in
yeah,
a
it's
position to like continue
I
to,
saw
you know.
a thing about
like,
how
I'd
there's
certainly like to see
talks
him
for
more.
making Hawkeye season 2. It's just like, who the fuck knows what's going on anymore?
Who even knows? Yeah, exactly.
I think it's
I guess-
quite telling that, like, because I've seen all of the movies and none of the TV shows, and I only know who maybe half of those characters we just went through are.
I was
Well,
naming characters from the movies.
No, I know.
mainly.
I was going to say, if they had like a portal sequence with
Goes to
all of the
show.
new characters of Phase 4 and 5, like, it
Oh,
would
could
be
you
wonderful to
imagine?
know the polling on who can recognize what characters. Because
Yeah.
the crazy thing is, I think between us 6, we'd be able to name 95%. There's probably one or two we would be like, oh, fuck. Not even naming their names, just as long as you can say where they're from, you know?
It seems like Thunderbolts is like the test case for that. It's like it's the can you remember these people the movie,
Yeah.
and so like
Yeah.
if that comes out and it's like no, nobody remembers any of them, so fuck it, we should probably ditch those people.
I'm just imagining the portals opening in Aquafina, like Katie or whatever her name is, walking through the portal with
I was
the
gonna say,
triumphant music.
Her being
Oh, I
referred
thought you
to
meant
as...
a scuttle as
No,
she comes
well,
in
that'd
as
be- I mean, that'd be
Scuttle
great.
in
That'd be-
Little Mermaid.
That'd
As
be
he's going,
amazing.
that fucking iconic figurine that just says Marvel's Katie. It's such a like, oh god.
I just saw in chat. Fugitive Wong is still around. I guess.
Fugitive
oh yes,
Fugitive
Secret Agent
Wong.
Wong. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a period of time where Wong was kind of the only connective tissue because he would just randomly show
Yep.
up in different movies, and he was kind of like the Tony Stark, and it seemed like they were pretending like they were doing something. And when was the last film he was even in? Was it
He
Doctor
was
Strange?
he was.
Well, he
a
shows
film?
up.
Film.
She-Hulk
Not
was
yet,
the
TV
last
show.
thing.
She's a new hero that they've introduced.
Well, wait. So
Sure.
he shows up in She-Hulk and
Mhm.
in Multiverse of Madness,
Yes.
and both of those were really bad, which I guess
Mhm.
just goes to show that two Wongs don't make a right.
Oh no!
Oh.
Let's go.
Beautiful. I actually think that in their little board meeting, they're like, all right, we need to be definitive now. We're about to start filming Who Are the Avengers? And it's like, so we've only got 2 guaranteed slots right now. Hugh Jackman Wolverine and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And it's like, what about our thousands of characters that we've introduced? It's like, no. No, they're like, what about Captain Falcon? They're like, we're not sure about that. Box office ain't looking
We're not sure
so
about the guy
good.
who's supposed to be the leader of the
Box office
Avengers.
looking
We're
real
still
low.
doing- Yeah, box
Did
office
they-
looking real low.
How quickly did they have to cobble the plans for these 2 new Avengers movies together? Because wasn't the Kang dynasty thing, whatever that's called, wasn't that supposed to be the next
Yeah.
Avengers movie? And that obviously was only shit canned by the New York Police Department like last year. So, like, did they have to change everything within the space of about 6 months to get this off the ground? And like, is that why we're only now discussing? Oh shit, who are the Avengers going to be? Because there wasn't even supposed to be an Avengers movie like this in this time slot.
There was no. I think because it was meant to be, it was Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, but then they changed
Yeah.
Kang Dynasty to Doomsday.
Okay.
And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure because initially
Gosh.
the writer for Doomsday was going to be Jeff Loveness, and Michael Waldron was the writer for Secret Wars, the fucking tag team who made the 2 worst films in the MCU,
Yay.
doing
You know-
the 2 most important upcoming films for the MCU.
Not that it matters, because this shit changes constantly. I just find it curious. The Avengers Doomsday entry on IMDb currently has Robert Downey Jr., of course, the full cast for Fantastic Four, at least the Fantastic Four themselves. Anthony Mackie is Sam Wilson. Wyatt Russell is John Walker. I'm not sure why he's
knows
in here
that?
more than, like, there's only 8 people listed, and then the last is Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter.
But that doesn't mean anything, right?
Not
really.
necessarily. I'd be curious where they got, because I know where a lot of this information is from. It's expected that the Fantastic Four would be in there. I don't see why not. I know that they've
I
had
think
announcements
that's the
about.
one that's been confirmed. I think.
I know there's been announcements about
yeah.
Captain Falcon is going to be leading the Avengers. I know that they've said they want to bring back Peggy Carter and that she's already like.
Wasn't Captain Marvel supposed to be leading the Avengers?
Once upon a time, yes, but not anymore. This is the thing. I think a lot of people assume there's so much, no matter like what history we experience, it's still a sense like they must be planning. And you're like, no, they really are like by the skin of their teeth going. The Marvels failed. We're moving Captain Marvel down the ladder. Like she can't be the one. She's not pulling shit. And it's like, what about Captain Falcon? It's like, well, the movie is gonna prove that he can't put bums in seats either. But they'll be like, yeah, but who else we fucking got? He's gonna have to. I wouldn't be surprised if they have him lead at this point. They've run out of time.
Well, who the fuck else you got?
Exactly.
Well, it seems like they are leaning like unbelievably hard on the success of the Fantastic Four movie, because that's the final movie before you get to Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah.
So what if that does shit?
Well, exactly. If that film is a complete bomb, then I would be super curious to see how Avengers because Avengers Doomsday is not going to succeed purely on the name Avengers.
We already know
that will be too late because the film's getting shot.
Principal photography will complete. Then they'll see the results of Fantastic Four, and then they'll probably do reshoots to account for whatever the results of Fantastic Four are.
That's the problem. Is the film will already be being shot at that point. I believe it's starting in March. So, like, that, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, you would have already shot most of your material, but yes, I guess you could always do reshoots.
I'd say that's baked in, that they're like, this will be the reshoot part, and we'll be doing that based on information we grab from the total results of pretty much everything, like, just whatever information they have at the time.
And then maybe they will just be like, all right, fuck it, Wolverine leads the Avengers.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't pull all the stops out for these two Avengers films, and even the trailers are just, it's like, we're gonna, we can't take this without blah blah blah. We need this, we need anchor beings. And you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, we need you, and then a portal will open, and then Wolverine will walk through as loud music.
No, it's always gonna be worse than that. It'll be him in a bar because they can't think of anything themselves, and then they'll walk up to him, and he'll be drinking something. He won't say fuck off. He'll say buzz off. Because they can't be having words like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he won't be smoking either, because you can't smoke in Disney movies.
No, and then he'll say, I don't want to do anything like that. I'm a rebel. I ain't doing nothing. And then they fight him, and then he does. And that'll be
That's right. Yes. And then it'll be like, okay, since you bested me in combat, I shall join you.
I am honor bound in the Wolverine culture. That's how it works. Yeah, we're not cynical about this.
No.
I'm really hyped. It's an exciting time to be a Marvel fan right now.
Obviously, there's not really much of any chance that these aren't going to be anything other than catastrophes in terms of writing. The multiverse in and of, like, that's like the whole, they're encompassed by the concept of multiverse, which I think up to now we've had, could you say we've had 3 or 4 like major projects that are multiverse, and they've all, in the terms of their multiversalness, have been awful. Because Endgame was a disaster. No Way Home's mechanics were disastrous. Loki was a disaster, and
Multiverse Madness.
Yeah, it was a disaster. So
Deadpool.
Oh, okay, 5. They have not been able.
Those are the ones I'm aware of. There could be another TV show, but yeah.
Well, Quantumania was setting that up. I know it wasn't about the multiverse, but it had incursions and all that crap.
It also, the main villain's motivation concerned the multiverse. I mean, I'd probably lump it in as a multiverse movie just because, the idea that Kang's going to go around eliminating infinite multiverses forever is pretty fucking retarded. So
it's going to take a while.
Yeah. So yeah, the track record is abysmal, and this one is going to crank up every fucking actor and character you could imagine, especially with the 2. Are they coming out back to back, as in a year apart?
A year apart, but I believe they're not shooting back to back, not like Infinity War and Endgame. I think they're shooting like the year and then the year after.
So
the only thing between it is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 4.
And so presumably that Spider-Man, that's another Tom Holland one, which presumably is going to be totally divorced from the MCU because, again, multiverse bullshit. Is that correct?
I don't know that we actually know what the fuck is going on with that.
Yeah, we got little information on that one.
Like, the thing is that they got to get going, right? If that's coming out in July next year, then that means they gotta hurry the fuck up if they want to get that one finished in time.
But yeah, I don't think it would be unreasonable to assume Avengers Doomsday could reach $1 billion. There's a good chance, especially with everything they've plugged into it. That doesn't necessarily mean it will make a profit. We could be at that point.
The thing is that there has to be expectations of consistent growth, because that's what happened with the Avengers movies, generally speaking. If it makes less than $2 billion, that will not be considered like good enough.
That's where I was going to go with that, was that even if it makes over $1 billion, I don't think they're going to consider it the thing they wanted it to be, and then that'll kind of... I feel like that's the biggest signal that it's the end for the MCU, is that their Avengers film can't even make it work.
It will need a complete and total reset, or it will just be the end, yeah.
Well, I think it will get a reset, but it's just not gonna work.
It's not gonna be the same, though. I think that'll.
Well, because they still haven't fixed the fundamental problem. They're not writing properly. They just refuse.
There's nothing to latch on to, nothing to get me excited for. You ruin everything you touch, and your movies suck.
Until they change the
part
ethic.
of an MCU, but part of it, like in continuing cinematic universe, is you really do have to make people want to see the next movie. That's just not what they've been doing.
Not even close.
So they will fail. No. I just wanted to see the next movie because I'm going to be interested in how bad it is, and then I get to talk about it. But apart from that, I don't actually want to see these movies.
No, yeah, it should be fun to break them down. They're going to be crazy. Absolutely fucking nuts.
It's just like, I'll watch them out of curiosity and for, job and everything, but I want to actually see them in earnest, because why? Because I'm going to go into...
These Avengers movies might actually create that. It should create that sense of coherence, right? Now they actually have a destination toward which they are writing, which they haven't had through Phase 4 or through Phase 5, because there haven't been Avengers movies. That it might clarify some minds, perhaps, because, okay, we've been publicly workshopping all of these different ideas. Do you like this version of the multiverse? No, everyone hates that. Do you like the quantum? No, fucking everyone hates the quantum realm. Okay, well, we've got an Avengers movie coming up, so we know everything now has to be tied to this one direction. We know who's coming back. We know who we've cast. We know who the villains are. So will we maybe consider writing to that premise? Will the next Spider-Man movie be very clearly written to put him in place for an Avengers movie that comes after him? Will Thunderbolts be written in much the same way because they know where they're going with it? That's what you would hope to happen. I don't have any faith that it will happen, but it is kind of an interesting test case because we haven't had any of these Avengers movies for such a long time. Maybe that's the thing they've been missing. They just haven't had this overarching vision, and now they've got one. It might force some minds to change. I don't know.
I think the next Avengers movie is going to be an apocalypse of world-building issues. It's going to be insane.
I expect it will be Endgame.
An apocalypse implies there was a world to destroy.
I don't know that there will be any sort of coherency to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, to really capture the scope here, it was 6 years ago that they obliterated the MCU.
Yeah,
that's right. Good old Endgame.
So you'd be like, well, what does that mean? Like, that we've recovered? It's like, no. Just 6 years of it getting worse on top of that. So it's like...
It's going to be interesting to see what they do, and then look back, just looking back on everything that's happened. It's like, oh wow, none of this is going to make any sense.
I would say that something they're going to struggle with is how are you going to be able to deliver the kinds of payoffs that you had for like Iron Man, for instance? Who the fuck are you going to give that to?
I
said, I think you got to it's reset time. You have nothing.
What is Captain Marvel gonna defeat Doomsday?
Man, I'll watch her die if you want me to. I might even pay for the privilege, but
I'll do it.
You just don't have anything to. I just don't. Yeah. We don't have anything to look forward to. We don't have anything to use going forwards. There's no reason to carry this stuff forwards. It's just it needs a hard reset or something, and who knows how much time gap will be in between, because I think a part of it might be that you need to give yourself a certain amount of time just so that there's a real separation between the old and the new. I don't know what their plan is, and it's not an enviable position to be in, but they're the ones who put themselves there after years and years and years and years of repeated mistakes.
Imagine being seeing that first cut, or fucking cut 7 for all we know, of Captain Falcon, then being like, oh fuck, this isn't gonna do shit. And then like, should we reshoot and put a bunch of more famous people in it? It's like, yeah. Maybe.
Oh, it'll be expensive.
Like, whatever.
We're there. It's not my money.
We are so fucked. Like that has to be the notion around like Marvel Studios right now. Because the Marvels, right? Like, fuck, they must talk about it.
Damn, they have to. Yeah. But well,
we need to do another. We need to do another cat live stream. to bring him into the Avengers.
I need to.
This is that, right?
You know when I die and you have that, because everyone knows this happens. Some kind of alien goblin person says, "All right, you get to have the answers to the universe." The first thing I'm asking is, how much did it cost for the marketing of the Marvels, like specifically to make that cat live stream? I need to know how much it cost them because that shit was so bad. I need to. Was it like $100K? I need to know because that would be so fucking funny if they paid that much for it. It's like,
yeah, you got to be kidding me.
Hey.
Beautiful.